What's up guys, thanks for stopping by. I hope you're doing good. In today's video we're going to be talking about 5 tips and tricks for Valheim. All of these tips are going to be super useful for brand new players, and there's going to be a couple that are going to be specifically useful for the late game as well. I hope you enjoy this video. Let's jump into it. Okay, so tip number 1 is how to bury chests. A lot of players aren't aware how to do this yet because there's a few ways it can go wrong, but how you bury a chest is to first take a pickaxe, dig down with 2 swings of the pickaxe, place your crafting table somewhere nearby, place the chest in the hole, then using the hoe, use the level tool to fill in the hole. The trick here is to not use the level tool in the center of the hole, just use it around the edges so it automatically brings the center of the hole up to the same level. Using the level tool in the center of the hole will actually cause the chest to break. And so we'll use in the raise up tool. So as long as you stick to the level tool and around the edge of the hole, this will work just fine. Once you've gone back and deleted your workbench, there'll be absolutely no sign of your chest, except for the fact that there's no grass in the area where you buried it. So this could be really useful for PvP servers, or even if you just want to make sure your loot is completely safe for any mobs that might be coming in and destroying your chest. Tip number 2 is all about inventory shortcuts. So when you open a chest, if you hold control and left click on an item in your inventory, it will automatically transfer it into the chest. And if you hold control and left click on an item in the chest, it will automatically transfer it in your inventory. Also, if you're holding shift and you left click an item in your inventory, it will automatically split the stack in half, so you can just drag half into the chest. I'm sure most players know about these shortcuts, but this last one is particularly useful and slightly less common. When you're not looking in a chest, holding control and left clicking on an item in your inventory will actually cause you to instantly drop the item. This can be really useful when you accidentally pick up garbage items you're not trying to loot, or when you're trying to recover your body. It's also much faster than dragging items out of your inventory manually. Tip number 3 is about blocking Deathsquitos. Deathsquitos are one of the most deadly enemies in the game, and it's easy to waste a lot of arrows fighting them. But the black metal shield and also the silver shield is actually capable of blocking a Deathsquito attack. You don't even have to necessarily parry, so just take your time. You see one coming, hold up your shield, block, swipe with the sword, and it's a really simple way of getting rid of Deathsquitos. Tip number 4 is all about the Bonemass Spell. So the spell that you get for defeating Bonemass is really useful in a lot of ways. We can see here that it makes you resistant to blunt, slash, and pierce. But the main thing I want to mention in this tip is that this buff is actually also really useful for defending against Deathsquitos as well. I know this is the second tip about Deathsquitos, but it's probably the mob in the game that people are complaining about the most. And you can see by these examples that when the buff is active, I'm taking a fraction of the damage compared to when the buff is inactive, where I'm actually taking so much damage. We can see in this example that when the buff is active, I'm taking about 10 damage, give or take. And when the buff is inactive, I'm taking 30 to 40 damage. And well, we're all familiar with this scenario. Tip number 5 is all about movement speed. So the main thing I wanted to cover here is that when you hover over a piece of armor at the bottom, it will actually tell you how much it hinders your movement speed. So you can see on this armor here that it actually says it reduces your movement speed by 5%, and that for the chest piece and the bottom piece, it's actually 5% each. So with them both on, it's a total of 10%. But something kind of interesting is that helmets and cloaks don't affect your movement speed at all. And the whole troll armor set also doesn't reduce your movement speed at all. This means that you can combine a troll chest piece and bottom piece with any cloak and helmet you want and still get pretty decent armor whilst maintaining the same run speed that you get whilst being completely naked. I personally have found this incredibly useful when navigating the plains, when it's a little bit more important to get out of the way of dangerous enemies. Alright guys, that's just about going to do it for this one. Let me know in the comments what kind of video you'd like to see next. Don't forget to leave a like and a comment for the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe for future content. I'm also streaming this game every day live on Twitch at twitch.tv/NickRawcliffe. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to stop by and say hello. I hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time, have a good one.